We just discussed what create an isolated scope means and how this prevents our directive from accessing the outside world and therefore being dependent from what's going on in the outside world, in controllers or in the module itself. Our directive has been refactored to follow this pattern, and it's still a simple directive because inside our isolated scope we can use local scope properties, which we are going to discuss in future lessons. Anyways, our directive is still dependent from one thing, and if you look at the code, you might notice what I'm talking about. Well, yes, it's still dependent from our Angular module EventApp. EventApp is our own application module. Therefore, if we take this directive JS and we plug it in another application, that application will not know what the EventApp is. What we want to do is to have a specific module for this directive, and we don't want to invoke it, but we want to create it as part of the directive, and that will enable the directive to be completely isolated and reusable in any application. To achieve our goal, I'm going to create a new module, and we're going to call it just for now highlight directive, okay? And we're going to initialize that with no dependency injection whatsoever, so we are not injecting anything, but this could be dependent from other modules as well. As long as the application where we're going to include it will make use of the dependencies, we will be still able to use them inside our directive. So what do you think that will happen if I don't make any additional change? That should be highlight actually. Well, I can tell you that in my opinion, it will not work. And you might know already why. So let's see what happens. Oops, we have no event name, no labels, nothing whatsoever. And our console is not telling us much. It's empty. We have no errors. There's only one thing that we are not doing, right? We have declared a new module. Therefore, this module needs to be a dependency in our application. So if I add that, like this, I've already done one step forward. So let's see again what happens now. As you can see now, our directive is being invoked. Because remember, every time you want to inject a module, you need to do that as a dependency injection. And if I want to use a specific module inside my directive, I need to inject it as well. So maybe I want to use, I don't know, a grid module, a third-party plugin that deals with authentication. Whatever I might need inside my directive, I can use it as long as I'm injecting that in my main module.